In the burning mountains of Lavaridge lives a young Machoc nobody really pays attention to. He isn't the biggest, isn't the strongest, isn't the one anyone expects anything from. And yet, Machoc carries a dream: to leave Lavaridge, reach Mauville City, enter the Steel Dome, and become a fighter. But all around him, people laugh. They tell him over and over that he's too frail, too slow, too fragile. In a world where power decides everything, Machoc is nothing but a useless hope. So he trains alone. At sunrise, he tries to move the pillars abandoned by the conquildeurs, massive columns of rock. His arms tremble, his legs give out. He collapses into the burning dust, then starts again, day after day, until the morning the pillar moves, by a single millimeter. Enough to prove to him that strength can be built. Next, he hardens his body against Tauros charging at full speed. The first attempts hurl him violently against the rocks. The pain is unbearable, but he gets back up again and again until he can stay on his feet for a few seconds. His fists toughen against Geodudes. He strikes until he bleeds, until he cracks the stone. Then he uses the fragments as weights to forge his body. To learn how to fight, he trains with a throw. Throws, chokes, brutal falls. Every session breaks him a little more. One evening, however, Machoc succeeds. A perfect movement, mastered balance. The master goes down. Under the red glow of Mount Chimney, Machoc evolves. He becomes Machoke. At dawn, he leaves Lavaridge without looking back. A few weeks later, the roar of the Steel Dome swallows him. The stands scream. Facing Machoke stands Slaking, a veteran. More than 20 victories by KO. A mass of muscles marked by years of combat. Slaking sits down against the cage and yawns. Machoc charges, swept up by his anger. Serious mistake. With a single blow, he's slammed against the cage. The metal groans. A second impact sinks into his stomach. Blood flows. Machoke staggers. He's a heartbeat from falling, but the memories surge back. The pillars too heavy, the Tauros launched at full speed, the mockery. He gets back up. His blows change, sharper, heavier. Slaking steps back, sways. One last impact, and the giant collapses. The silence holds for a second, then the arena explodes. Machoke has just won his first fight at the Steel Dome. But in the shadows of the corridors, someone is already watching. And this first triumph is going to cost him far more than he imagines. After his victory, Machoke is no longer a nobody. In the corridors of the Steel Dome, his name circulates. His win surprised people, but more than anything, it caught the attention of those who know how to spot interesting prey. The gong rings out again, and the Steel Dome rumbles. Machoke climbs back into the cage to a roar of cheers. The crowd chants his name. They love him for his rage, his courage, his refusal to ever bend. Up in the stands, the famous dancer Ludicolo has come to see him. Then the opposite door opens. His opponent steps forward. Annihilap. Empty stare, twisted smile. He's famous for one thing only: shattering careers before they ever begin. The fight starts. At first, Machoke holds his ground. Blows are traded. The pace is fast, taut. Annihilate laughs. He takes the hits, he taunts. The strikes get heavier, more vicious. Annihilate only wants one thing: to mock him for life. Machoke wavers. One blow, then another. He falls. The referee steps in. Annihilate ignores him. The blows rain down. The crowd screams. The cage becomes a nightmare. Security intervenes, tears Annihilation away from his prey. Machoke lies on the floor motionless. Medics rush into the cage. The silence is absolute. As Machoke is carried out on a stretcher, a silhouette rises in the stands. Machoke wakes up in silence. A white ceiling, a cold light, a body that no longer responds the way it used to. The injuries are serious. Some deep, others invisible. The doctors hesitate. For the first time, the question isn't when he'll return to the arena, but whether he still can. Weeks pass. Machoke goes back to training anyway, out of habit. out of refusal to give up. The gyms are empty. The walls still bear the marks of his old strikes. He hits again and again, but the power isn't there anymore. His fists tremble. His body refuses to obey. The rage, though, is intact. One night, as he collapses alone on the cold floor, a silhouette emerges from the shadows. Machoc. He asks no questions. He promises nothing. He simply sets an object down on the table, a rare candy. The night is long. The pain returns. So does the helplessness. By dawn, the candy is gone. The transformation is brutal. The muscles contract. The veins burn. A new strength floods his body, violent, uncontrollable. Machoc screams as his limits give way one by one. He changes. He evolves. When calm returns, Machoc no longer exists. In his place stands Machamp. The power is overwhelming, but something else has been born with it. A deeper rage, colder, a rage that no longer goes out. From the shadows, Machoc watches. He knows the fighter is back, and he also knows that this strength will soon outgrow the boundaries of the steel dome. Machamp doesn't stay on the sidelines for long. The moment he sets foot back in the steel dome, something has changed. His step is heavier, his gaze emptier, as if he no longer sees the arena, only what it owes him. He doesn't wait for a fight. He demands a name. Annihilate, the one who broke him, the one who sent him to the hospital, the one who ended his rising career. The rematch is granted. When Annihilate enters the cage, he wears the same smile as before. He cracks his fists together, looks for Machamp's eyes. But this time, something is off. Machamp doesn't really fix on him. It's as if he were looking right through him. The gong sounds, and immediately you can tell this fight has nothing to do with the last one. Annihilate attacks first. His strikes are fast, violent, charged with rage. But Machamp doesn't retreat. He absorbs them, then answers. A single blow is enough to make Annihilate stagger. The second sends him into the cage. The metal trembles. Every strike is precise, calculated, devastating. Annihilate tries to get back up. Machamp gives him no time. The fight is already over, but Machamp keeps going. The blows rain down even though Annihilate can no longer defend himself. The referee tries to step in. Machamp doesn't stop. Security enters the cage. He keeps hitting. Cries rise from the stands. Excitement turns to fear. It takes several of them to contain him, to pin him to the ground, to lock down his arms. Even subdued, his body still fights. His fists are still searching for something to hit. When silence returns, the cage is damaged. Annihilate is unconscious. The crowd is in shock. Machamp is led out of the arena, not as a champion, but as a danger. He is locked away. The days pass and the rage doesn't fade. It no longer goes out. It stays crouched, alive. Machamp no longer needs an opponent to feel it burning under his skin. That's when Machoc comes back. He doesn't talk about the steel dome. He talks about another place. An arena with no cameras, no referees, no rules. A place where no one stops the fights. Where violence isn't a problem. It's a private spectacle. Machoc looks Machamp straight in the eyes and makes him a promise. There, he can let loose however he wants. Machamp doesn't reply. He accepts. When he steps into the underground arena, the atmosphere is different. The stands are full but silent. People watch, weigh, place bets. A fight is already underway. A Tyrogue is facing an Embor. The difference in raw power is obvious. Every blow from Embor could be fatal. And yet, Tyrogue dodges, never stops moving. His strikes are fast, precise, almost surgical. Embor falls. Machamp watches the scene without a word. For the first time in a long while, something genuinely catches his attention. In the underground arena, it doesn't take Machamp long to make his name. At first, it's just a rumor. A fighter too violent, too powerful. Then very quickly it becomes something else. No one wants to step in against him anymore. Those who have faced him will never climb into a ring again. Machoc isn't looking for a show. He hits, he destroys. He ends fights quickly, without emotion, as if he were doing exactly what's expected of him. And the more he wins, the more fear settles around the ring. But as his name grows, another one starts to circulate. Tyrogue. He doesn't impress at first glance. Smaller, lighter, almost like an intruder in this place. And yet, fight after fight, he wins out. Not through brute force, but through precision. His blows are quick, clean, always landing at the right moment. Those who know recognize that there's something different about him. His handler, Pseudo Wudo, refuses at first to believe it. To him, sending Tyrogue against Machoc would be sending him to slaughter. The gap between the two is too wide, too obvious. But Tyrogue insists. He isn't asking for a favor. He wants this fight. When the offer reaches Machoc, he accepts without thinking. He no longer needs a challenge. He needs to hit no matter who's standing across from him. The gong sounds. Machoc quickly takes the upper hand. His blows are heavy, crushing. Tyrogue absorbs them, retreats, slips aside. With every impact, you think it's all about to end. But he holds on. He thinks of Hitmontop, of his training, of the hours spent dodging, falling, getting back up. Back from the days when he was still just a young Tyrogue. Then the rhythm shifts. Tyrogue's strikes accelerate. Machoc tries to keep up, but his eyes always arrive too late. The speed becomes hard to track. For the first time, the Colossus is overtaken. Caught in his rage, Machoc slams his fist into the ground. The vibration runs through the arena. Tyrogue slips. Machoc lunges, tries to grab him, but just as he thinks he has him, Tyrogue strikes for the first time with something other than his fists. A direct kick to the jaw. Machoc wavers for a single second, then the blows come down. Too many, too fast. Machoc's skin splits. The giant falls. Silence settles in. Machoc is KO. Tyrogue has just beaten the unbeatable beast. Nobody believed in it but him. Deep down, this story is a simple one. It's about a young Machoc who just wanted to become the strongest. Not to rule, not to instill fear, just to prove he could make it. But by chasing power, something shifted. The dream became an obsession. Strength became an end in itself. And without really realizing it, Machoc lost himself in what he was trying to become. When Machoc falls that night, it isn't just a colossus collapsing. It's a journey coming to a halt. Tyrogue, on the other hand, wasn't trying to be unbeatable. He was just trying to stay true to who he was. And sometimes, it isn't the strongest who wins. It's the one who didn't lose himself along the way.